the pop culture field. And you will.
Sorry, go ahead.
We would just look like we were just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast, sitting comfortably at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. I'm one of your hosts, Israel Wright, former Green Beret. It's good to see you folks. Good, you, right there. No, not you. Get out of here, Kevin. No, it's fine. There's really like a guy named Kevin who's in our audience.
He's like, what? Yeah.
And with me, as always, the one, the only.
Thank you, Izzy. What's going on, folks? My name is Cameron Fath, former Army Ranger, and today, from your car, live from your car, speaker, radio, iPod, not iPod.
Not iPod.
No, iPods aren't around.
Your iPod Shuffle.
iPod from your MP3.
From your Zoom.
Yeah. Live is the Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast, and today's episode is going to be kind of cool, a little different.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm excited.
different. And I'm excited, too, because this one's all about gangsters.
Yeah, gabagoo.
Gabagoo.
Not just the Italian gangsters. We're trying to hit the.
What up, son? What up, blood?
Yeah.
What up, gangster?
You can't. Those kind of gangsters.
All
yes.
gangsters.
But then
all
also we got the outsider here,
hoodlums
Japanese
and
mafia
brigands.
gangsters.
You got the Yakuza, you got the mafia, you got the cartel, you got.
What is it with the people organizing themselves to do crime? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Why can't they just be honest?
You know, like they say, crime pays.
Yep. It
Tax
does.
free.
Pays a lot of different people from a lot of different nations.
Exactly. So I mean, this is kind of cool because what do you think about? Who do you vision when you hear the word gangster?
I mean, the first one that it's the first one on our list is like the Godfather or like the Sopranos, like a lot of Italian mafia. And I one of the questions that I have in the episode is like, why do you what is it about gangsters? Like, these people are criminals. Like, they kill people. Like, they don't obey the law. They do money laundering. It's drugs. It's alcohol. It's gambling. It's pornography. It's prostitution. Like, and yet we're making movies about them and like video games about them. You know what I mean?
Out of all the things you said, I didn't think any of them would sound terrible. No, I'm kidding. I was like, that sounds
and
pretty
this is
cool.
when Cameron reveals that he's a crime boss.
Exactly,
actually.
man. Yeah, I'm running with the MCs and one percenters, the Killer Man Sons, if you will. You know, that's a Ranger bike club, right?
Really?
Yeah, the Killer Man Sons.
The Killer Man son.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
absolutely. To the Killer Man comes. I'm the son of the Killer Man.
The Killer Man.
And it's old Ranger song. But anyways, yeah, I think also depends on how you say. Because you say gangster, you think of Italian. You think of mobster, you think of Tommy guns. But when I say gangster, what do you think of?
Just strike gangsta. I think of like 50 Cent.
I think of Nas, man. New York State.
I think of like Power, like the show that
Straight out the duns, it's a rap!
No, it is, and I'm sure
Don't fake it back!
that was like derived from probably like Italian mob stuff,
It's organized
Not like
crime.
directly. It's organized crime.
It's organized.
That's all.
It's dirty money, it's organized crime, it's community in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a family, as Dom Toretto would say. Dom Toretto. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, thanks for listening, folks. Just want to let you know we release a new podcast every Wednesday. So don't forget. Don't forsake us. Don't forsake us. Don't forget to subscribe to the Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you tune into podcasts. And as many of you do, but if you don't, we have a YouTube channel as well. And those episodes are uploaded every Friday so you can see the visual recordings of the podcast if you want to.
Very handsome and well.
If you're super into that, but I recommend pulling over first before you tune into the YouTube.
Right, because you might get distracted.
Distracted driving. So while you're listening and watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like those videos as well. Also, send us emails. Send us Instagram.
We love hearing from you.
We love hearing from you. All of you who talk to us, it's cool. I love waking up and seeing somebody, tell me how wrong I was on this episode.
Yeah, how we don't know anything about movies. Yeah. We need to stop right now.
We also get a lot of positivity, which is super awesome. And
yeah, we get a lot of good feedback.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Where people tell us like, hey man, I just want you to know I appreciate you guys make my day a little bit better, or maybe I'm on deployment or something like that.
Fuzzy.
Yeah.
Not to mention we get a lot of great episode ideas.
I'm telling you, man, we get legit episode ideas from you guys.
So you help make this channel great.
Yeah.
And this podcast awesome. And if you want to continue, you can also buy us a coffee. It's a form of donation, if you will, and big thank you to everybody who has
Absolutely,
bought us
folks.
a coffee. You guys allow us to, fund the podcast, make sure it's
Hookers,
streaming correctly,
drugs,
buy drugs,
illicit
illicit
activities.
activities.
Thanks, you guys, for
Thank
funding
you.
organized crime.
Absolutely. Like, we just bought a new hard drive. It's awesome.
Yeah,
And you
fill it
guys
full
made
of
that
drugs.
possible. So thank you. So if you want to support the channel in that way, buy us a coffee. And finally, because I know you guys just want to get to it, because that's why you stopped.
You guys don't want to hear us talk. You just
Yeah.
want to hear us talk.
But we got big news coming.
Coming up, yes. So
Coming
big
up.
special announcement, July 4th.
July 4th, 4th of July. The news is going to explode like a firework. I already made that lame joke on the last episode, but we
Alright.
can't wait
Listen,
to announce
I mean,
it.
why not beat a dead horse?
Why not beat it? It's one of my favorite hobbies. Actually got one in my backyard right now. To
You
beat.
all the time.
Just
Slowly decaying.
Slowly decaying. You like horses?
It's like the dead horse head in Godfather.
Oh yeah, totally. But without further ado, let's talk about some gangster shit.
Gangsta. We got to talk about the Godfather series right off.
Absolutely, right off the bat.
It's
A movie I've not seen.
what?
Nope,
Whatever
never seen
movie
The
you're
Godfather.
about to watch.
I only know
tomorrow or
cameos
whatever,
from The Godfather. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. I know I could say all that verbatim, but
and
I've
you've
never seen.
I'm gonna make him an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's obviously we've been making gangster films for decades, but that first one in particular, and the second one's good too. I actually have not seen the third one, and I hear it's like the least great out of all of them. But
The third, right? No, the third's the best apparently.
No.
the best.
No.
Oh,
No, God, no.
Someone said.
Oh God,
The
no.
second one's the best.
The second one's
one.
the
Yeah,
best.
I remember I remember someone telling me, might have been you, might have been Chris, might have been Magic Voice Chris, but someone said the original Godfather is not the best one. It's one of the sequels.
Okay.
So tell me about it, man.
I mean, Godfather
Tell me about
it's the Corleone crime family. It's classic Italian mobster film, directed by Dino De Laurentiis.
What?
Dino
Francis
De-
Ford
not Dino.
Coppola?
Francis
Get
Ford
out of
Coppola,
here.
yeah, Francis
Dino De
Ford Coppola. I know Mario
Laurentiis.
Puzo
Wow,
wrote it.
where's the gabagool?
Mario Puzo wrote it. He wrote them. He also wrote the first Superman movie.
There's
but yeah,
actually
so,
a show on Apple. Is it Apple TV? It's called The Offer. It's about getting The Godfather made. It's got
Yeah, I
Miles
want to
Teller.
see that. Miles Teller's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miles Teller's huge right now.
Yeah, man,
Everybody's
he's-
growing mustaches because of him.
Man, he is.
I have a mustache before time.
I've technically worked with Miles Teller.
Did you?
Yeah, I did a week of PA work on Only the Brave, where he was a firefighter,
You're
and
so
I was
famous.
I was 10 feet away from him
You're
one day.
so famous.
Yeah,
That's
I was
like me saying I'm famous because I was standing next to Robert Pattinson in Tenet, and he was blowing jewel smoke in my face.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, you're almost as famous as me. Because
Oh,
everyone
well.
knows that Miles Teller is cooler than Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, he plays emo Batman. Yeah. Emo Batman, and then the lighthouse guy who gets drunk with
And has sex with a fish lady.
Green Goblin.
Yep.
Yeah, Green Goblin. But anyways, move. Yeah. The Godfather.
Godfather, man. Yeah, it's
Iconic.
yes, just so amazing.
What's the plot of The Godfather?
The first one, I feel like it's like the rise of Michael Corleone, Al Pacino's character, because you got the original Godfather, which is what's his name?
Don
the
Corleone?
actor that-
Marlon
Don
Brando.
Corleone, Marlon freaking Brando, baby. He's Don Corleone, and then he
He's
ends
the
up
Don. Is that what that's calling someone the Don?
Don.
Come from? Like calling him Don?
like they're the big
The
dude,
Don. Like that's
Don.
you the Don.
the big man. The
Is
man
that where that
upstairs.
derives from? I don't know.
And he has so many like.
That makes sense.
Come in. You know, he's got the great accent and stuff. Didn't he die of like a heart attack or something like that? Playing with his daughter, something like that, or his granddaughter. Anyway, and then Michael Corleone's the one that ends up taking over the family and stuff like that.
Crime family.
Yeah, the crime family.
And all those movies in pop culture about the Italian mobsters, I thought of a question in my head right when we started. I was like, who were the first gangsters in history? Who were the first?
Right.
And I did some research. Like Chris likes to say, I just typed in who were the first gangsters on Google, which is covering up living AI. The first major gangs in the 19th century in New York City were the Irish gangs,
Oh.
such as the Wyos, and the Dead Rabbits. And these were followed by the Italian 5 Points gang, and later
5 Points sounds
a
familiar.
Jewish gang known as Eastman gang. There were also nativist, quote-unquote, anti-immigration gangs such as the Bowery Boys. And that is the most trusted, that's coming to us from the most trusted source, of course,
Most
Wikipedia.
trusted AI on the internet.
Of course, Wikipedia, so it must be legit. But yeah, man, that's cool. So like Irish gangs. I mean, speaking of Irish gangs, this movie with Black Mass, right? That's
Black Mass,
That
yeah.
is an Irish gang.
Yeah, and I think that's more Boston area, right?
It's Boston, yeah, where all the gangs are from.
Yeah, Whitey
Boston.
Bulger.
Yeah, took my cockies, left my cockies and my khakis.
Yeah, gotta go park the car at Harvard Yacht.
God, how, yeah. Hey,
And
what am
that's
I fucking?
Johnny Depp, the now exonerated Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
The not a horrible person, as it turns out, Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Whitey Bulger, true story.
Yeah, true story.
He's super huge crime boss, and then
looks
he
like
turns state's evidence. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone Johnny Depp is a character actor. Like he always has been. He just happens to be a leading man character actor.
Yeah.
And he always plays the weirdest looking dudes.
I mean, what's the most like Johnny Depp looking Johnny Depp character do you think Johnny Depp's been in? Johnny Depp.
Like Johnny Depp,
Johnny Depp?
like where he just looks like himself.
Yeah.
There's a movie called
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, there's the Ninth Gate or something like that.
Was it like the movie about hell?
Yeah, where it's like there's a book he's after.
Like the only thing they do to Johnny Depp is give him glasses or something like that?
Basically, he's just a normal.
I was gonna say Donnie Brasco, which is another good mobster gangster film.
Yeah, isn't he like undercover in that one?
Yeah.
And him and Al Pacino, right?
Yeah, that's a really good movie, Donnie Brasco.
Oh, I guess you can also consider Blow a gangster movie because he's running Blow for the cartels.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
By your own
Yeah,
rules,
so
yes.
Follow by my own rules.
There's
Yep.
and then there's like the one that nobody saw that I saw. It's like The Last Door or The Hidden Door or something like that, where he's a writer, and like he's going insane. He's living in a cabin out in the woods, and like he's trying to write this novel, and there's like somebody's like stalking him, but he doesn't know who he is.
What is that one called?
Oh, it's like The Last Door, The Hidden Door, or something like
Is
that.
it Secret Window?
Secret Window. There you go, Secret Window.
Some entry.
Something about an entryway that's not known or hidden.
Some
or
some
whatever.
portal into your house, and maybe it's not seen.
Yeah,
I think it's
Yeah,
called
it's the
Invisible
door-
Dog Door.
Yeah,
Invisible
Secret
Screen.
Chimney.
Yeah, it's called Hidden Chimney.
Hidden chimney. Yeah.
So yeah.
Slightly inconvenient closet.
Oh, and Chocolat.
Yeah. Okay.
He
So
was
back
the
to
only
Black
person
Man.
in
Back to Black Man.
Black Glass, yeah. And then I remember hearing about when he was caught because he went into hiding.
Yeah.
He went on the lam. He was
got
like,
wrapped.
I think he was like on the 10 most wanted list, second to Osama bin Laden. Like he was Osama bin Laden and then him.
Talk about some right up there with Osama.
Yeah.
And the guy that started the Mormon extremist group.
Yeah, right. Must have been a slow couple of decades.
Warren
But he
Jeffs.
got found out. He was
Yeah.
caught in Santa
Yeah,
Monica
Warren
in
Jeffs.
2011.
Really?
Yeah, he was living in Santa Monica.
Warren Jeffs?
No,
okay.
no.
You
Wait.
got it.
There's a documentary about
Warren Jeffs. That just is the documentary series about him. He's crazy.
Wait, I was thinking of the Mormon guy that had all the wives.
Yeah, that's
no.
Warren
Okay,
Jeffs.
yeah, there's a Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
The
that
FLDS.
just came
I
out.
just watched it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's
Whitey
so-
Bulger
it's absolutely
caught
nuts.
in
Anyway,
California,
Whitey Bulger.
not even really
Yeah,
trying to
okay.
hide.
Yeah.
Not
Honestly,
really,
why
yeah.
did we put him in the traitor episode? Because technically, you become a rat. You're a traitor to the mob.
He's like an ultimate rat because he was a crime boss and then he betrayed everybody and then he just split.
Yeah. No, that's like the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
But honestly, kind of similar to the Black Mass plot about rats, The Departed.
The
The
Departed.
Departed. Jack Nicholson is ultimately spoilers if you haven't seen The Departed, but it's been out forever, so.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a FBI informant the entire time. He's like head honcho.
Oh wow, I forgot that part.
Yeah, he's like that's why.
I just know that everybody starts betraying everybody and everybody starts shooting everybody.
Oh, at the end? No,
Yeah.
so I did not see that coming at all. Like his little partner that he leaves behind, he's like, we gotta get like Matt Damon's character,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, Staff Sergeant. Like,
Yeah. And then at the end he's like, just kill me. He's like,
Yeah.
alright.
He's like, we gotta stick together.
Leo gets shot in the head.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I'm here to help you. And then Matt Damon shoots him in the head. And then at the very end, Mark Wahlberg shoots Matt Damon in the head.
Yeah, later though, you think Matt Damon got away with Matt Damon's the biggest snake in
Yeah,
that
he's the
movie.
biggest
Oh
snake.
my god.
Yep.
Talk about a hated character. We should have put Matt Damon's character in the most hated characters episode.
Alright, we're gonna start Traitor episode part 2 right now.
Yeah, honestly, there's way too many to count. But yeah, no, The Departed, just actually watched it for the first time 2 nights ago.
Good for you.
Yeah, man.
What a good one.
I'm trying to get Sydney, and everybody knows Sydney is my fiance. Yeah, I'm trying to get her churched up on, classic movies.
Classics, man.
And yeah, we
Like
did
The
Departed.
Godfather, maybe? Maybe you should watch
Yeah,
The
probably.
Godfather
Yeah.
sometime.
She would kill herself if she made her watch The Godfather. Yeah. But, The Departed was awesome. Talk about a killer cast
Yeah.
Everybody's in that movie.
Everybody's in that movie.
Yeah. Leonardo Dicaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, unfortunately.
Ray Weinstein.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the guy that shot that guy. Baldwin. Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin?
Alec Baldwin's in it.
Oh, Alec Baldwin's in it?
Yeah, he's the police chief.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's also
the
really
police
good.
chief.
Everybody's really good in that.
Yeah, everyone's
Martin
really
Scorsese directed, right? He won an Academy Award for Best Director.
Yeah, talk about let's talk about actors dialing in accents real quick, because Leonardo DiCaprio, and you've seen Blood Diamonds. Where is the diamond?
Yeah.
Show me the diamond.
No, I haven't seen Blood Diamond.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
You should watch that.
Yeah.
He does a South African accent. He's like, "Come here, let me tell you."
Yeah.
I can't do that's my South African accent. It's terrible.
You sound
Yeah.
Vietnamese.
Come here, bro. Hey, let me show you something, bro.
Now you sound like you're from New
Yeah.
Zealand.
Yeah. Side note, there used to be a guy in my National Guard unit before my time, and my boys would tell me this story. Funny as was a brother, and obviously he would get naked in the ready room, and then there's a scene where like obviously the blood diamonds are like a big deal, and the plot of the movie is this field worker, essentially they're like human trafficking these guys to find the blood diamonds like slave labor,
Yeah.
and he finds
This
a
huge
rock.
diamond,
Yeah, huge diamond, and he hides it, and they know that this like ginormous diamond worth hundreds of thousands of dollars is out there, and they're trying to find it. And does he keister the diamond, Chris? Does he keister it?
Oh.
I don't remember, but anyway, they take him to prison, the guy that found it, and like the guys are trying to go after him, and he strips himself butt naked, and he's just screaming, "Where is the diamond? Show me the diamond!" And in like the African accent, and we used to have a brother in the section who would get completely naked and then basically tuck his wiener between his legs and just scream, "Show me the diamond! Where is the diamond?"
Oh my god. Oh, man.
Anyway.
You gotta add that. That's gonna be in your biography too,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, South African accent, and then he goes to a Boston accent, which honestly is the worst accent in the world. So many.
Lost our vast Boston audience now.
Yeah, but so many let's just move on, man. I'm going down a rabbit hole.
That's all right.
What do you want to talk
I
about?
want to talk about Smokin' Aces, man. I love
Smokin'
this
Aces,
movie.
yeah.
Smokin' Aces from 2006. You talk about a movie that has everybody. This is like a true ensemble cast movie. It's basically, a Las Vegas performer, Buddy Smokin' Ace, or Buddy Aces Israel. Buddy Israel, I like his name is Buddy.
Yeah, it's good. I thought you said you like his name. It's Israel.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a I was gonna say circus performer. He's a Vegas performer who turns state's evidence, and like everybody's after him. The FBI's after him because Jeremy Piven. There you go. They're after him because they want to protect him.
Mm-hmm. And then all the local gangs are after him because there's a hit on him.
All these other gangsters hire people, mercenaries, to go after him and kill him, and then even his own, because his Common, who's one of his own dudes, finds out that he's betrayed him, and then he gets after him. So it's like everybody's after everybody, and it just ends up being this like circus of destruction and death at the end of the movie. It's so awesome. The way it's done, I think it's what Joe Carnahan directed it.
We've talked about Smokin' Aces before.
We have?
Yeah, I think so. I think you talked about it. Yeah, you really like that movie.
I really do.
I've seen it. I need to look at it again. 'Cause if you asked me to tell you the plot, I couldn't. All I remember is there's like really crazy characters that are just going after him. Like,
I think that's part of why I like it so much, because it's surrounded the
It's
whole
out
like
there.
mob thing, but like it has these crazy characters,
Yeah.
Like let's say Bobby Cavanaugh plays like he's like this assassin that nobody can identify because he's chewed off his own fingerprints, and stuff, and all this, and he's in there, and he it's just crazy. The two chicks, like one's a sniper, and then the other one goes in, and Common's there, and freaking Ryan Reynolds and Ray Liotta, right? God rest his soul. Ray
Oh yeah, I
Liotta's in
totally
it.
forgot Ryan Reynolds is in that movie.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds playing a normal person,
Yeah.
before he broke out of his shell. Ben Affleck's in it for like 10 seconds, then he gets shot down.
Doesn't he play like a police officer or something?
Well, Ben Affleck plays. They're like hired guys that they're gonna go in, and then the Tremor brothers with like Chris Pine before he became like Captain Kirk. Is in there, and they just shoot them dead, and they steal their plan and take their uniforms and stuff like that they're gonna use
I remember it.
to like sneak in. It's so good, man.
Speaking of Ben Affleck, would you consider this a gangster movie? The Accountant. Have you
Does
seen
he
The
work
Accountant?
for the mob? I haven't. I heard it's
so
good.
he's autistic or on the spectrum or something,
Yeah.
and he just becomes a wizard with numbers and becomes an accountant, and then he starts running. Basically, like he is the go-to accountant to figure out if you're losing money, and all the gangs like hire him and all the mobs. He works with like the Saudis. He works with like the Yakuza.
I'm sure, those are all gangster organized crime.
That's a great.
You know?
Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's great. So like, and he turns out it's really funny. He in the beginning, he's obviously like nobody can really talk to him that well because he has weird social cues because he's obviously he's autistic.
Right.
So he in the beginning of the movie, he's like in his office and. He owns his own CPA firm, like, and there's this farmer couple that are like obviously in deep with taxes, and he like helps them out, and he's like, did you make that necklace? And and they're like, he ends up like basically saving these people, and they're like, hey son, if you ever want to come down to the ranch, there's a lot of good fishing. And he's like, I don't fish, and he's just like, okay. He's like, I shoot, and then he's like comes to the ranch. And he pulls out a 50 cal, and the farmer's like watching from his window, and he's like, those targets must be like a mile away. And he's looking at through binoculars, and he's like, not on my best day. And then all of a sudden he just goes, and just pops these melons from like miles away. And the guy's like, oh my god. It's an awesome movie, and it's it has a really good twist at the end.
Oh, cool, man.
But and he was raised by a military father, and like his brother is played by the guy that plays the Punisher in the TV series. What's John
Bernthal?
John Bernthal is his
okay.
brother, and he like is pretty much a gun for hire. He's really good.
Oh, okay.
And
his brother is.
His brother is.
Oh, okay.
But he grows up. It's spoilers. I'm not gonna. But anyways, he he's just doing numbers for gangs, and he's like really good at shooting. You should just watch it, man. I don't want to do any spoilers.
No, yeah. This is not something that I will watch because I think it's one of Ben Affleck's better roles.
It is. He does it really good. They're like, excuse my language, but Tropic Thunder, never go full retard. He's not Ben Stiller. He does it really good. I think he does a really good job of like showing, obviously, the stressors of like social interaction that people with this disability have, because like he'll come home every day at like on the dot, like he drives an F-150 and he like presses his garage opener going like 50 miles an hour, and it like slowly opens up at the same exact time, and then he like times it really well, and you can tell when he's having problems because he's a little bit off, and like he doesn't press it at the right time, he freaks out, and he like, you ever seen those basically desensitizing to your ankles where you like roll them and you grind your bones that Muay Thai fighters do? He like will set his clock for like 30 minutes and put on like heavy electronic music and sit in the dark and just he'll put on a strobe light and he just starts grinding his ankles and it's like crazy, dude. You should watch it. It's a great movie, The Accountant.
That's cool, The Accountant. I dig it. I dig it.
Well,
Well, tell me, you got a couple of these on that I am not familiar with. I haven't seen any of these, so tell me about a couple of these.
Yeah. So I know we've been talking about the Boston, like Irish gangs and Italian gangs, but I would consider like the cartel an absolute gang.
Yeah.
So Tax Collector from 2020. That movie, if you like action, if you like blood and guts, that is the movie.
Good action, you said?
Good action.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Shia LaBeouf's in it, and I don't remember, let's see, Tax Collector. Who's the main? Oh no, I don't want to know who a tax collector is.
What a tax collector is?
Yeah, where the tax. It's Shia LaBeouf and then Bobby Soto.
Okay.
And then George Lopez is in it, obviously. So
David Ayer directed it.
Yeah.
I like David Ayer.
Yeah, no, it's super good. And so like Shia LaBeouf plays a guy named Creeper, which is really funny because he's white. And like, actually,
I remember there were some like that people had a problem with him playing in like this Mexican type role when he's a white dude. But like that's a part of his character, isn't it? He's just a white dude.
He's just a whitewashed guy that's grew up in the hood. And it's funny because Shia LaBeouf actually got a tattoo of Creeper on his stomach.
Like a legit
tattoo.
Oh.
Yeah, he literally has like a silk cow writing tattoo saying Creeper on his stomach after that movie. Method actors, man.
Dude.
But pretty much it starts out with Bobby Soto is the main character. Who played a guy named David Cuevas. And then Shia LaBeouf, and they are local gang of the cartel, pretty much.
Okay.
And they're basically running the hood, like basically going over the businesses, collecting all the taxes from the lower gangs, and basically they run the show essentially in that hood. And this new guy named Conejo comes in, and he's like Bobby Soto's father was a big crime boss too. He's in jail. But Conejo like had an out for his dad, I think, so he pretty much wants to become the new head honcho too. So he just goes and starts murdering people, and then it's basically like Bobby Soto's on the run because this new Conejo guy like kills his family and is trying to kill him and take over.
No.
And it's just nonstop action.
Wow.
Like, basically, he's on the run and all the gangs are out, and he partners with like the Bloods. Because he's like, yeah, you owe me, fool. And the guy's like, yeah, we got you. We'll run with you. So then he goes to the Bloods, and then like all the African American gangs like team up with him, and they go out. Like it's fucking nuts, dude.
Crazy.
You're talking like LA gang culture.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it's out of LA. Yeah, the movie is absolutely bonkers. Like blood, gut. Shia LaBeouf gets curb stomped to death. Like,
Dude,
it's
oh
great.
wow.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Tax Collector's awesome.
Sounds like a good family film.
Yeah, great
Yeah,
family film.
Just a fun romp.
You got young kids, you know, bubble some popcorn up, and yeah, take a look at it. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they
But
got to
that's
learn
Tax
about that
Collector.
stuff sometime, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like you won't see it in LA growing up anyways. So like with all the MS-13 tags around.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
You get learn to recognize them. Oh, let me mention one
Yeah,
before
go
you
for
go
it,
on. It's one of those ones that I usually randomly watch on Netflix, you know. But I wanted to see Jared Leto play like something that wasn't just like a crazy character, because he does like all these crazy characters all the time, and he's good. He's a good actor, but it's called The Outsider. It came out 2018. It kind of came and went, but it's basically, I didn't know this when I first watched it, but he's like a former service member, and it's 10 years after World War II, so it's 1950s, and he just ended up just staying in Japan. And so it starts off with him in prison.
So it's
and
Yakuza kind of.
yeah, it's Yakuza.
Yeah.
Yakuza. So he ends up saving this one dude's life in prison, and as a result, the dude's like, "You're gonna come with me. You're gonna be like, you're gonna work for me." And he just kind of ends up working for him and getting closer to him and his family, and then he ends up, you know, hanging out with his sister, and then they end up having a relationship, you know. And then like it's just kind of like, it's actually kind of like the phasing out of kind of the old school Yakuza, you know, like the old honor system where like
into the new school Yakuza.
into the new school, because there's like 2 Yakuza families, and the one that he's working for, Jared Leto, is kind of old school, like they're about honor and duty and loyalty and stuff. And then the other Yakuza family, they're all about like modernization and moving forward, and
Yeah.
and so
Getting with the times, old man.
But he's like, you know, Jared Leto says he's not a good person. Like
Yeah.
he does some really despicable things. But
Obviously,
he's
he's working for the Yakuza.
yeah, and the stuff that he does, it's brutal, it's bloody and stuff. Like
Yeah.
this one part of the film, like there's an American dude that's like cheating. He owns this factory in Japan, and he's like cheating everybody out of like their wages and all their prices and stuff. And Jared Leto just goes in and just beats him to death.
Nice.
Just the, you know, as a result, you know, so. But it's good. It's a nice little like drama, human drama kind of thing. Pretty brutal, you know. Like what somebody comes, where is he? Emil Hirsch. He sees Emil Hirsch, and Emil Hirsch served with him, and he's like, hey, you know, and like Jared Leto doesn't want to have anything to do with him, but he's like, hey, you know, you can get a beer, and Jared Leto's like, no. He's like, oh, I guess, you know, it might be too bad if I found, you know, if you know, I told, you know, your former superiors about you being AWOL. He's like, all right, yeah, let's go have a drink. And he just takes him back to his place. He just slices his throat. He just
Oh
kills
my
him.
god.
So it's
Doesn't,
like,
I don't know, I think I've seen this movie, but does Jared Leto get brutally murdered in the end of it?
yeah.
Okay.
No, he
Oh,
lives. Yeah. The coolest part of the movie, I'll just spoil it for you because nobody's gonna watch this movie. Because I don't think anybody watched it. But like at the end, his crime boss gets killed, which is the father of his friend,
Yeah.
and they're kind of getting squeezed out of town. But he goes and he goes in there, like they're having like a funeral for the crime boss, because like even though the other family betrayed him, they still like they're honoring him. And he walks in there with like a samurai sword, and he's like, I just want you. There's one dude that like ended up betraying them, and now he's part of the other family. He's like, I just want you. And everybody kind of backs off, and the guy's like, what are you gonna do? And he comes at him, and Jared Leto just does this smooth, like he pulls the sword out, he slices his head off, and then puts the blade like right back in the thing, and that's it.
Quick draw slice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The guy like you know, like falls over, and then his head falls off, and,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, whoa, 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 and they let him go because it's like an honorable thing. What else you got, man? We got some good ones on this
Yeah, we do have some good ones. So we just talked about the Yakuza, but let's talk about the Aryan Brotherhood. But yeah, that's a gang. I would call them a pretty gnarly gang.
Yeah, very gnarly.
Did you watch the movie Shot Caller?
Never did.
Man, you need to watch this movie. It's I've talked about this before, and I'm surprised you haven't watched it since we talked about it, because you promised me you were going to watch it. So I'm a little upset
I don't
with
know
you.
about. I don't know about.
But yeah, Shot
promising.
Caller came out in 2017. It's
Oh,
the guy.
freaking Nikolai Coster-Waldau
Nikolai-
from
yep,
Game of
from
Thrones.
Game of Thrones. He plays a man that was involved in a DUI, like a white collar business professional, and he's a married man, but then he accidentally commits involuntary manslaughter because he is driving intoxicated and kills people in the car with him, like a couple that they're out with. I think that's
Max
what
Greenfield. I'm looking at watching the trailer right now.
So then he gets sentenced to prison, and basically when he's in prison, he has to adapt, and he ends up joining the Aryan Brotherhood to survive. And like obviously he has a family on the outside, and like the dangers of being in the Aryan Brotherhood. So pretty much he joins in order to protect them.
Yeah.
And he gets out of prison and ends up running stuff for the Aryan Brotherhood. And, he recruits one of the kids that he's working with, and he's a former, Army vet who's like a sniper. So obviously they're like, you got combat experience. We need a good trigger puller and over here. But the movie's absolutely crazy. And like it ends with him working his way up and purposely gets caught. So because shot callers are in prison, like the head of the Aryan Brotherhood in his area is like calling all the shots from jail.
Okay.
So like he purposely gets caught because
John Bernthal.
Yeah. So they're trying to he's purposely trying to get caught because they're like, if you're exiting the Aryan Brotherhood, we're gonna kill your family. So then he purposely gets caught so he can literally go kill the head of the Aryan Brotherhood, and he kills them in a fist fight. And he obviously there's some dirty cops involved that get him in the same because they're out there in cages for their rec time because they're high class villains or high class or they wanted him originally to work a deal to basically give up people, but he's like nah, and because he has his own agenda that he's trying to do because the law enforcement is obviously trying to take it in their own hands, but he knows that doesn't work. So he's basically takes it into his own hands and works a deal with the cop that gets him alone in the cage with the big boss, and he's like, they're out there looking at each other. He's like, make a move, and then he just beats. They get in a fight, and he kills him with his bare hands, and then he becomes the shot caller to pretty much save his family. So he basically gives up his freedom and gives up his reputation and his name in order to keep his family safe. So he basically does a self-sacrifice.
Wow. Yeah. That's cool.
So yeah, the movies I think is a really good movie.
3 good ones. We got Tax Collector, The Accountant, and Shot Caller.
Yeah.
All ones that I have not seen, but that I want to,
Yeah. Well, there's also one that just got put on Netflix that was from 2019. Did you see The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey?
No, I didn't. No.
That's a cool one.
I don't even think I heard about this.
It takes place in the UK, so it's UK gangs.
Okay.
And it's funny because Matthew McConaughey obviously isn't British.
Oh wait, no, this was Guy Ritchie. I've heard of it.
Yeah.
But this is a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah. So basically, Matthew McConaughey is the head of a marijuana big marijuana drug distribution channel and everything.
All right.
And he's trying to obviously get out of it. So his I lost my train of thought. But he's trying to sell it to another big crime lord in UK because he's trying to get out. So obviously the guy he's trying to sell to is doing internal stuff in order to bring down the price because it's worth a lot of money. So then the guy who's trying to buy it ends up hiring dudes to steal. Because the guy knows where the thing is. He brings them to the growery and he's like, this is one of our biggest things. To basically show him, it's obviously if you're going to buy a car, you're going to go check out the car first.
Right.
So basically he goes to the distribution center and gives the location to another some thugs that are in the form of a boxing they're boxing champions but also are thugs.
Yeah.
And their coach is who's a big name. Let's see.
Charlie Hunnam.
I think so. Let me just double check.
Or Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell is the coach.
Okay.
And there's a really cool iconic scene when Colin Farrell's going into a cafe to get a coffee, and these young kids come in that are obviously super disrespectful, and he's just why don't you shut the fuck up? And then the kids are beat his ass. They pull a knife, and he's a boxing coach, so he just absolutely beats the crap out of these kids. And they're oh, if you want to learn how to really fight, come to my gym. At the end, they're you're
really?
the coach. They're you're the coach. And then he finds out that his the guys he trains ended up stealing all this weed from Matthew McConaughey's thing. So he goes to Colin Farrell's character goes to Matthew McConaughey and he's like, look, I'm really sorry. He's like, I didn't mean disrespect. So to make up for it, I'm gonna offer you my services. So then to kind of pay the debt. So they end up working together. And the guy that's trying to buy the growery gives a location to those dudes trying to lower the price because he's like, well, I don't want to buy something that is people can steal from. So obviously, what it's worth now isn't what it's worth anymore. So it's just a lot of backstabbing and backcrossing.
It sounds very Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, and then they totally accidentally killed this like one druggy kid, but he's part of this like big Russian mob family, and they didn't know. So then the Russians come after them, and like I like the movie. It's all a bunch of backstabbing, and then also Charlie Hunnam's in it. Is like Charlie Hunnam's like Matthew McConaughey's like right hand.
Okay.
And it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen just the one scene where he's in the alleyway and the kids have like a case that he needs. And they're being totally disrespectful, and he just pulls out a gun and like just sprays. They all run.
Well, he had the kids. The Russian kid that they murdered, all these kids from the hood like took pictures of it and like took a video, and their faces are in it, so they're like, "Give me your phone."
Yeah.
And so basically they chase him down, and then it's just Charlie Hunnam's character with all these gangsters, and they're like, "Give me your fucking money," and then he pulls out the gun. He's like, and they all go running. Yeah. But yeah, no, The Gentleman's a really entertaining movie. I got a lot of cursing in it because obviously it's
Guy Ritchie, Gangsters.
There's also like a PI, like a private investigator. I think it's Hugh Grant's character in it, and he's like trying to he figured it all out, and he like goes up to Charlie Hunnam's character and basically is presenting all this stuff and basically retelling the story. So basically the movie's based off of Hugh Grant's recollection of being a private investigator and going through a sequence of events, because it starts out at the end pretty much, and then you think Matthew McConaughey, spoilers, it like shows Matthew McConaughey getting his head blown off, and then it basically Hugh Grant's character like retells up to that point, and then the end of the movie takes off from there. So yeah, no, it's a good movie. It's really cool, and Hugh Grant's character is fucking an absolute crazy man. And he's like, I could let this. He's like, I could make a report about this, but now you guys owe me $10 million. Yeah. And then they end up locking him in a box. It's a good movie. It's a good gang movie about like the UK gangs and shit. It's The Gentleman. It was. I just watched it like a month ago maybe. It was really entertaining.
That's cool, man. Let's do. You mind if we do one more?
Yeah, go for it, dude. The world is your oyster.
Oh, you know what? I want to do a couple more now because I saw the list. But let's jump down. I just want to talk a little bit about. I want to get one TV show in here because I know
Peaky Blinders. You want to talk about the Peaky Blinders?
I haven't watched it.
Never mind. It's on this list.
I know,
and everybody raves about it.
I know, man. And that's the one that you got to watch because it's
fighting.
So good.
No fighting. No fighting. That's the only thing I know from the Peaky Blinders.
Yep, that's all. Yeah. And then there's The Wire, Boardwalk Empire, The Sopranos. Guys, I haven't watched any of these. I'm really sorry. Breaking Bad is like
absolutely
that's the classic one. So that's the one that I have seen.
Yeah, Better Call Saul.
Yeah, which I have only watched.
Not The Sopranos.
Well,
you haven't seen The Sopranos?
Story of my experience with The Sopranos is that when I was going through you have to do NCO training in order to be
like
promoted.
BLC, ALC.
Yeah, it's like BLC.
Leadership development courses.
Yeah. So during the Q course, there's like a Special Forces internal
WLC.
version of that.
Yeah, it's both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how you get E5 right off the bat.
Exactly. Yeah. But with ours at certain phases, there was a lot of downtime, and the only thing we had in like our little living space on the DVD player was the first 3 seasons of The Sopranos. So we would just watch Sopranos. But it's the thing is, I don't remember anything about what happened.
Yeah.
Like I know he was going to therapy.
I just remember my mom and her boyfriend were like on a huge Sopranos kick, and they're like, "You need to watch."
I feel like everybody was. It lasted for so long.
Yeah.
But that's my only experience with The Sopranos.
Why, you got something to say about it, Chris?
No, I was just. You said you wanted to mention a TV show with gangsters, and that's the first one in my head. But also, Breaking Bad is better than The Sopranos.
Actually, Breaking Bad was one of the first shows that I ever. You know how binge watching became a thing?
Yeah.
Like Breaking Bad was one of the first shows ever that I actually binge watched, and I remember I watched it in my barracks room because there's so many things, and Walter White and. What is
Jesse Pinkman?
Yeah, Jesse Pinkman and his fucking meth head girlfriend.
I heard an interesting factoid about that one that Matthew Broderick originally was going to be the role of Walter White.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's one of those pre-movie factoid shows that they used to do the slideshows before Maria Menounos took over with everything. But no, yeah.
What, this nerd was supposed to really fucking what's
Matthew
his face?
Broderick.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off was supposed to be
Walter White.
He's like,
it's so funny because before that, freaking Bryan Cranston has been a working actor since like the 80s, man, and he's done it all. He's even done like anime voiceovers. He's done commercials. He's done little TV spots, and then he had Malcolm in the Middle, which was supposed to be as the lighthearted, goofy dad, and then he plays this role, man. It's just an amazing transformation or amazing role that he just took over and made it his own. You can't imagine anybody else playing Walter White.
I mean, I remember one of my high school teachers like absolutely obsessed with him.
Yeah.
She like showed us a selfie of him in New York that she like stumbled across him. And, she's like, he's such a nice guy. And I was like, he makes math. He's a chemistry teacher.
Yeah. So such a good show. That was the kind of show where I don't know that there's like a bad episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's not really a bad episode. Plus, I think the character development of Walter White is so epic.
Yeah, that was the whole point.
He loses his innocence.
Yeah, that was the whole point of
strips all morals. And then his wife, is slowly against it.
She gets into it, yeah.
Every character has character
Gets
development.
corrupt, gets corrupted.
And you know what's really funny? Sometimes remember when we were doing that Shift Fire episode where we worked with Sonny for the stunt driving?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, drive with both feet. And he's like, you need to drive with both feet. And I remember that episode where he's teaching his son to drive, and he's like, only use one feet. And obviously he's a crippled kid, so he's like, but both feet is easier. And I'm like, oh, guess that kid's destined to be a stunt driver.
That's right. Yeah. No, great characters, and like his brother, who's like a bit of a jerk, but he's actually a good person,
Yeah,
and
the cop.
The cop.
And he finds out finally.
He finds out. That's like what is that? The season.
That's like 3 years. It's like late in the season.
Yeah, and like I think it's just like it all comes together.
Doesn't he get killed?
He ends up getting killed by the white supremacist gang members. Yeah.
I think how every season with any TV show ever they like have to do a different storyline. I really liked how some seasons for TV shows are like, that's a dumb storyline.
Yeah, right.
But this one, it all melded really
together. Yeah, it really did. Remember when the cartel sends those 2 twin brothers after him?
Yeah.
And they're in there and they're waiting for him with the axe, waiting for him to get out of the shower, and then they get the call and what's his name calls him off. And they leave, and he never knew they were even
the guy Edgar from The Boys, the CEO from The Boys.
That
guy.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah.
That's man, it's so good. I love how they always just meet at a chicken restaurant too.
Yeah. Dos Pollos Hermanos.
Yeah.
Dos Pollos Hermanos, the Chicken Brothers.
Chicken Bros.
That's
a great little ending to.
Did you see El Camino, the Netflix movie that they did?
Started it.
It's good, man.
I do like how it's a movie that is a sequel to a television show.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it again.
It's like a wrap-up thing.
I remember the beginning when obviously Jesse's on the run and then he gets an El Camino, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's called El Camino. But that's all I remember about it.
Yeah,
I don't think
man.
I finished it.
It's very much like a Western. It's kind of Jesse Pinkman's wrap-up movie because you see him blast off, and then the show ends, and you assume he got away, but it's how he gets away, or it's like basically a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
After he gets out of that camp.
You got to explain it to me. And just because I only remember the beginning of El Camino. Do they hint that Walter White is still alive? Or no, he's completely dead.
He's dead.
Okay, I completely missed it.
I mean, unless they want to do something because you see him bleeding out on the floor
but you
of the
don't
meth
actually
lab.
see him dead.
He's dead.
D-E-D
He's
dead.
He dies at the end.
He's dead.
With a capital D. He is
Chris
dead.
is gonna cry the cry of 1,000 cries when they've come up with Breaking Bad 2, Electric Boogaloo. It's the sequel show.
Walter White's a cyborg.
If he didn't,
he's a cyborg.
They make it clear that if he doesn't die from the bullet, he's
going
to die from cancer.
I
so
just
he is
finished
dead.
up Kenobi, and
wait, don't spoil anything
okay,
for
never
me.
mind. Well, I don't think it's a spoiler, but just in the Star Wars universe,
he dies at the end.
No, he doesn't. Obviously, because there's 17 movies afterwards. But no, when any movie where they just think they kill someone and they just leave a person bleeding out.
Yeah.
It's
like
it's a bad move, man.
It's like a trope. It's almost like a trope these days.
Yeah.
Where you're just they're gonna bring him back. It's if that character ends up being popular, they don't want to say that they killed him off.
I will
they literally
say,
cut Darth Maul in half.
Literally,
and
he's still alive. And it's make sure the job. The point is make sure the job's finished. There's a quote at the end of Kenobi where he's like, revenge is the greatest motivator to stay alive.
That's pretty good.
So make sure someone's head is off before you leave. Don't just stab them and assume they're dead.
Aren't they gonna? Isn't Quentin Tarantino gonna do like a sequel to Kill Bill or something where like it's like the daughter, what's her name's daughter, Vivica A. Fox's daughter comes after her like years later because she killed her mom.
The woman that, like, obviously the little girl when she comes back from school.
Yeah, she comes
like,
home
hey,
and
sweetie.
her mom's dead.
Oh, really? That would be a cool spin-off.
She's like, if you want to, and she even says, like, someday if you want to come and find me, I'll be waiting, you know?
Yeah. That would
cool.
make a lot of sense.
Well, Quentin Tarantino said he's only going to do one more film, right? Isn't the whole 10-film thing, like he says, like all filmmakers after their 10th film start to fall apart or something like that?
Really? I thought Quentin Tarantino has more than 10 films. I didn't know that.
I don't know.
That's a lot of feet.
Next one. Video game, Red Dead Redemption. Oh,
hold on, real quick, Israel. Just make this really quick because we're already creeping into running long territory.
All right, real quick, video game, Red Dead Redemption 2. I just want to get it in there because I love this series. We might have talked about it before. Have we ever done a Western episode? We should do a Western episode.
That's a great idea.
Anyway,
I don't think we've done Western.
Arthur Morgan, the Vanderlyn Gang. Have faith. Dutch has a plan.
How can't we do cowboy gangs?
Cowboy gangs.
That's such a gang. I mean, it's in the name.
Yeah,
like rolling with my gang.
We'll do a whole Western episode. But it's such a great storytelling. Such great storytelling. Arthur Morgan. They're trying to survive. It's kind of the, I don't know if it's like the commentary on the end of the Old West kind of thing, but they're kind of getting squeezed out of civilization. They're running out of places to go. So they're trying to make their way as like a small family-style gang, but then things just start to go wrong, And the game is so beautiful because you can just wander around. It's open world.
Yeah, it's open world.
And
I haven't played it, but I've seen a lot of gameplay.
Great character development, great character Arthur Morgan himself, and then obviously it's a prequel to the previous game, which was Red Dead Redemption 1. So you get to see where, the events that they talk about are referencing the first game. You get to see how they came to be in the second game, So anyway, gotta have faith. Dutch has a plan. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, yeah. And with that, let's transition to our fan question. It comes to us from Berlin Brigade, and they want to know, what's it like on an Army base? Things for the soldiers like PX, commissary, gym, that kind of stuff.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
I feel like it's funny because I just signed up for a new storage locker because I moved houses. I had to get a new one close by.
Oh, okay.
I just moved in yesterday, and like the guy was talking about like because obviously you're not allowed to take photocopies of military IDs. Apparently, like it's against the law. And he's like, "What do you think that is?" I was like, "I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah.
I'm not CIA, and I'm not fuzz." But I was like, "He's like, yeah." I was like, "Probably because it's easy to fake them because there's not like crazy shit on them.
Like
there's no black light
theft stuff.
Yeah, there's no like black light or like little images that are like holographic on it." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know why someone would go on to." He's like, "That'd be crazy to try to like get onto a military base," and I'm like, military bases aren't that crazy.
I know. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. Obviously, we have guns and ammo, but even those are secure within the base.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even know that the ammo things are like under hard,
hard
structures. A lot of people don't even know where to get ammo from.
Right.
Like there's a
On the
specific
base.
MOS that like have to drive out to like the base ASP, which is the ammo supply point. And like I had to go for a detail once, and like it was off of Fort Lewis. I had to go through like 2 gates, and then they're underneath underground silos that had like grass growing on top that you can't see from air.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's storage regulations.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of regulations, but like a military base isn't crazy at all.
It's boring,
people think
man.
there's like people like roping aliens and like doing crazy. It's literally just a lot of grass, and like there's a Burger King and there's a Charlie's Philly cheesesteak and like
anything
Subway
you can
Taco
find
Bell.
Like if you think there's like fun stuff to do, anything you can find to do on a base, you can find to do better off base.
Off base, yeah.
Like, you don't want to just hang out on base. You go insane,
Yeah, there's not a lot, but like there's the PX, which is obviously like a convenience store. It's like a Walmart, but it's tax free.
Yep, tax free.
Yeah. Things on base are tax free, so that's pretty cool. But like there's gyms, which depending on the base you're on, they could be really nice or they could be like whatever.
The one at Fort Lewis was pretty good.
Oh yeah, no, they had multiple gyms. Big.
You're right.
There was multiple gyms, but I know the one you're talking about right next to main post.
Yep.
Yeah, so that one was pretty big. But like there's a thing called commissary, which is literally just a grocery store.
Yep.
Also tax free, and then like sometimes there's breweries on post. I know they opened up a
brewery.
Yeah, they opened up a Samuel Adams brewery when I was there. So
That's cool.
soldiers can get like drunk amongst each other, which I think is the most
It's not very
stupid
productive,
thing. There was this place called the Warrior Zone on Fort Lewis, and I like tried to avoid it at all costs because it's just brand new privates wearing assault packs from the PX, and they would like go and get intoxicated. And the one thing I didn't want to do is hang out with soldiers when I was in the military.
No,
because
you want to get off
suck.
base and hang out with normal people who are
Yeah, go make some normal friends. Like, go hike on Fort Lewis. Like, the one thing you want to do on a military base is get off of a military base.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to spend your time there. They're nothing special.
That's why being in Tacoma or being near Tacoma, Washington, in the Washington area,
awesome.
it's the Pacific Northwest. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
You got Mount Rainier there. You got
Rainier,
Seattle. You got the Puget Sound.
You got the Sound. You got North Bend. You got like Snoqualmie Pass.
So beautiful.
Yeah, you can go up to like
skiing.
Yeah, there's so much to do off post, and if you're stuck on, obviously if you're in like Texas at Fort Hood, like stay on post, or drive down to Austin.
Right.
But like every base has unless you're at Fort Polk, then there's nothing good about that. But yeah, every base has cool stuff around it. You just got to get out. So yeah, to that question, yeah, bases are nothing special. What's it like on an Army base?
Kind of boring.
Kind of subpar. Very mediocre.
You can you take a day if you're in the Army, you're a new private. Take a day, go around, check it out,
see where everything is, and then spend the majority of your time figuring out what's off base.
Yeah.
Just don't go right outside the gate because it's typically really bad area.
Sewing shops and brothels.
And
bars and stuff like
fast
that.
food. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Berlin Brigade. But now it is time for the game.
Do you got this one?
I think Magic Voice Chris.
Magic Voice Chris. All right.
I have this
What
one.
you got, Chris?
I'm
It's
still
all me.
high off of my victorious 100% run after the last game.
I think that's the first 100%er, so
That's right.
you should be high
the
off of
highest
that.
point in my,
High.
high
That's
point
like
in my life.
that's
yeah.
the heroine of trivia. Well, don't say that. That makes
Chase the
everyone
dragon.
sad.
You'll never get it again. It'll never be like the
Chase
first
the
time.
dragon.
Whole
That's
life.
what he's been doing this whole
Chasing
time.
that
All right, what we
trivia
got, Chris?
dragon.
So, in honor of the rest of the episode, this game is called
That's Gangster.
That's Gangster.
I like your cut, G.
Chips and broads,
So
expensive
I'm gonna give you a
nods.
nickname. I'm gonna give you a nickname, and you tell me what gangster or outlaw it
Okay.
belonged to.
Good thing.
Okay. It sounds easy until you remember both
Yeah.
of you are terrible with nicknames
We
because
are
yours
very
are
As
so
long as you
natural.
don't say like Joker or like Creeper, because that applies to like every gangster.
Or Dutch.
No,
or
these are
Babyface.
famous gangsters. These are real life gangsters.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
Are we ready?
My fingers are on the keyboard.
Ready to Google.
Okay.
No cheating.
No cheating. That's sorry. I'm gonna start saying that's a rule of every game.
Damn it,
No
that's
cheating.
not
Dang
intended.
it, this whole time.
Okay. So the warm up is
Scarface, yeah, Al
Scarface.
Al Capone. Al Capone. Al Pacone.
Al Pacone.
Al Pacino.
They-
Al Capone. It's Al Capone.
You think it's okay?
Not Al Pacino.
Is it a real person or is it a pop culture
It's-
character?
He's a real person.
Oh, they're all.
These are all real.
Scarface. Al
Pretty
Capone.
notorious.
Yeah, he
They're
had a
all
big
real.
scar on his face, right?
Did he? Or I thought they just called him that because it was cool sounding.
Okay.
I forget why, but
He
it
didn't
is
have
Al
like a big
Capone.
scar on his face.
He died of syphilis.
I could have read the article that explained why his name was Scarface, but I didn't care. I just wanted it's the warm up, so I really didn't care.
We
Okay,
We
are you ready? So that was the warm up. All right, first one.
El Padrino.
El Padrino.
El Padrino.
Is that Pablo Escobar?
I would say Pablo Escobar, yeah.
It is 100% Pablo
right.
Escobar.
Yeah.
Very good.
Quickly running out of high-profile
Patron.
names.
Yeah, I just watched the Narcos. I rewatched Narcos.
okay.
So that's how I know. No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
it's
so
just
you
my
cheated.
knowledge, my
Okay.
big brain.
Next one.
Bumpy.
Bumpy.
You would think that's maybe Al Capone because he died of syphilis.
Yeah. Or he's really fat.
Bumpy.
Jesus.
Bumpy. Sorry, that was a bug.
Can we get a hint? Like what?
Like era, like 60s, 70s, 40s, 50s, 70s.
Is in the 70s.
Yeah, like
I
Italian.
can give you an additional
Irish.
hint. He's black. He was portrayed by
gosh.
Denzel Washington.
From
American Gangster.
American
I
Gangster.
have no idea what his name is.
Oh, I
so-
don't know his name either.
No, I don't know.
His name is Ellsworth,
Ellsworth
Bumpy
Johnson.
Johnson.
Is he-
Ellsworth, quote unquote, Bumpy Johnson.
Ellsworth Johnson. Did he create What gang was he affiliated?
He created his own.
Is he with the Black P Stones?
He didn't. He just.
No, I mean, big cocaine.
I didn't read the articles. I just looked for the nicknames.
Yes, let's.
All right,
do
you
it.
ready for the next one? You're 1 for 2. All right, next one.
Whitey
Bulger.
Yeah, Whitey Bulger. Yeah.
Correct, James Whitey Bulger.
His name wasn't Whitey. His name was James. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. His name wasn't Whitey. His parents were just like, Whitey.
Yeah, you're Whitey now.
You're Whitey. You're gonna be a gangster. Okay. Next one.
The Dapper
Dawn.
The Dapper Dawn. Huh.
This is from the 80s and 90s. This is someone that was in the news while Israel was alive.
Probably
Maybe not.
Israel's really old.
Dapper Dawn.
Dapper Dawn. I'm assuming it's going to be an Italian mobster.
Right. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just like cultural appropriation. I don't know.
No, these are hard.
I didn't pay attention to the news when I was a
kid. I'm not a historian of American gang culture.
All right, I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's
John
Gotti Jr.
Okay.
John Gotti, that sounds familiar.
John Gotti, yeah.
All right, this next one's a fun one.
Cocaine Godmother. She is African American, correct?
Godmother.
No, okay, never mind.
No.
Oh, she's Colombian.
She's Colombian.
Oh,
I don't know any female gangster names and stuff like that.
I didn't. Yeah.
Cocaine God. What is it?
Well, then you're not going to get this one. Her name is Elda Blanco. She was in Miami.
You do?
Yeah, I've heard of her before. I didn't know she was. Before. Yeah, there's an entire Netflix documentary on her.
Yeah, it's like she was a part of the cartel. She imported a bunch.
And this was like during the 70s and 80s, right?
And killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, Griselda Blanco.
Something extra scary about female gangsters.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
guys, you just expect
well, you got
us
something
to be
prove,
criminals.
you know?
There's something extra scary. Don't be a prude.
You're right. Women can be just as evil as men.
Yeah, sometimes more. Okay, next one. Lucky.
Lucky. Gotta be Irish.
Yeah, he's gotta be. He's not Irish.
He's not Irish. He's Italian. He was featured in Boardwalk Empire. This is a very well-known gangster.
Oh no.
Oh man. Yeah, he's very well known. When I say his name, it'll probably ring a bell.
Oh man, Lucky.
Gal Fracchino.
Let's make an Italian name up.
No.
What about Sal?
A great guess.
Capone?
No.
Yeah. We're getting.
No, his name is Charles
Luciano.
Lucky Luciano.
Charles Luciano.
Lucky Luciano.
Huh.
Man.
No, you've never heard of Lucky
I
Luciano?
need to watch more gangster films.
Oh, he ran around with Meyer Lansky and.
You really
those
sound like
guys.
you.
Okay.
You.
And
look
the
into
final
a lot
one.
of crime lord.
What a true crime fan are you, Chris?
I told you he was in Boardwalk Empire.
He's an HBO.
Which I watched the whole show. So, the final one is
Babyface. He's in the movie with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, Public Enemy.
Public Enemy. Yeah, he's one of the guys. Oh my God, something Babyface something. Oh man, and he was like really short, and he kills.
He's really ruthless.
Really ruthless.
Like a hothead.
Yeah, he's short man syndrome.
Yeah.
What was his name? I'm so tempted.
I'll give you another clue.
Is his first name Billy?
It's not Billy.
Billy Batson. Shazam.
No. He was also featured in the movie Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes, he is.
Oh, really?
I am a man from sorrow.
I've seen trouble on my day. Johnson? Something
close.
Johnson?
You want me? I'm just going to tell you. No, his name is George Babyface Nelson.
George Babyface Nelson. Going down to the speakeasy.
But actually, his name was actually Lester Gillis.
Oh my gosh.
Lester Gillis. Yeah, I changed my name too. My name was Lester.
His actual name was Lester Gillis.
Apologies to all the Lesters out there. Sorry. Lester the molester.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, there you go. You guys didn't do great.
Gross.
Well, that was an extremely challenging game that required a lot of historical knowledge, Chris. But hey, way to get the gears.
It's okay.
I actually think if I just would have watched more HBO, I probably would have done all right.
Honestly,
I paid attention and, like,
if you had, you would have done much better.
Yeah. So more HBO is what we're saying.
You got to restart my HBO Max account. But cool.
Thanks, Chris. That was awesome.
Thanks, Chris. That was awesome. And we hoped you guys thought that game was awesome. Let us know how you did by sending us a message. Thanks for listening, folks. We appreciate you coming on this podcast with us, listening to this podcast, this journey of pop culture
down crime lane, crime alley.
Yeah, we're about to jump you in if you come around here. And for those of you that don't know what being jumped into a game is,
a gang.
Yeah, a game. It's all a game.
We're gonna jump you in.
Yeah, we're gonna jump you. I mean, we're gonna beat the shit out of you. So, looking forward to having you on the next one. And with always, adieu. Cue music.